Okay, look, if you're new here, this is an introduction. Hi, I'm Ki. Most people know me as SHROOMBAE. And it is very common for y'all to see me with only one or no or a lifting eyelash. Today we are going with the one look, right? Yeah. Anywho, let's get started because I got quite a bit of stuff that I want to come through with y'all. Today's video, I want to talk about things that I have learned on my mushroom journey thus far. This past year, 2022, been a wild ride with these mushrooms. I just was starting to put out content around like February because it was my shroomversary. And yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot of things, and as this year is kind of like wrapping up and a new year is getting started, I want to just comb through some of the things I learned and I want to talk through it. Of course, I got my handy dandy list, okay? Front, back, and we got a half a page on the inside. Y'all see the line? So, let's just hop right into it. Number one, shrooms is something that I love. A new trip, new experience. And with that, I'm just kind of like, it's one thing to enjoy something leisurely. It's one thing to, you know, socially indulge in something. But no, I love doing shrooms. I love the way it makes me feel. I like the things that I'm learning about myself. I like the way that, you know, I can engage with others. I like the way that I am just experimenting. I'm having fun. Every time I do it, it's completely different. The fact that I cannot replicate any previous trips, it excites me to do something new. So, new trip, new experience. I love shrooms. Number two, I have learned that I need to grant myself grace a lot more often. I know a lot of the times when it comes to like accomplishments, sometimes I don't necessarily feel that things are accomplishments. I just be glad that it's done. Like, okay, that's one less thing. Okay, what's next on the list? You know, and I think as I have kind of been, you know, exploring and experimenting, I've realized, like, no, you need to grant yourself some grace. You need to write down your accomplishments. All these things that you're getting done, you need to take some time and appreciate yourself for all of these things that you just knocking the fuck out. Like, I am 31 years old, and the majority of the shit that I've done in my short years, some people have never done in their life, and they're twice as old as me, if not older than that. And so it's just like, as harsh as I be on myself sometimes for feeling like I'm not doing enough, it's like, no, you are doing enough. Grant yourself some grace, appreciate yourself, and give yourself the credit and kudos and round of applause that you really deserve, because you be working hard, you be busting your ass, and you never have gotten to a point where you was just too big, right? So I'm learning that I need to grant myself grace more often because I deserve it. And on top of that, if ain't nobody else gonna grant me no grace, well, I'm not gonna grant me no grace. If you don't do it, ain't nobody else gonna do it either. So yeah, I be having a lot of epiphanies. I be having a lot of deep thought. A lot of my reflections just be good. And it's like, no, grant yourself some grace, girl. Number three, I want to learn how to grow shrooms. I always be talking about them. I always be doing them. I want to grow them for myself. I feel like that is one of the few difficulties in this shroom world. And so if I could get like maybe, I don't know, maybe a psychedelic mentor. I don't know. But yeah, I think that'd be dope to be up under somebody, learn alongside them, soak up the knowledge from them, and see if I could do it on my own just from my exposure to them, their guidance and things of that nature. So, you know, I kind of would be open to that. So, yeah, I want to learn how to grow them. Number four, I like testing functionality with all the things I can do with them, because I feel like, one, I have to prove a lot of people wrong and debunk the unrealistic things that people make up. And I also want other people to see me functioning. A lot of the times people be like, oh, I'm scared I'm gonna tweak the fuck out, or if I do shrooms, I know I'm gonna need the next day off of work, and like it's an outpatient procedure that got downtime. And it's like, my guy, no, that's That's not the case at all. Like, you're not gonna be incapacitated. And I feel like so many times I have to just reiterate that, and people be like, nah man, I'm gonna be and majority of the people who do shrooms with me, they be like, you know, I thought this was gonna be a completely different experience. And I'm just like, I'm sure you did think that, but what do you think about this one? They like, nah, I like this a lot better. Like, what I thought was way off. And so I feel like the more I test functionality, the more people are realizing that one, shrooms is not something to be scared of, and two, you're gonna be just fine. Like, you have to believe in yourself. You have to, like, it's kind of like riding a bike. If you've been riding bikes ever since you was a kid and you smoke a blunt, you're not gonna be able to ride a bike no more. It's like, no, I can still ride this bike. I'm just gonna be high as hell riding this bike. I might ride that bitch slow, probably can't pop a wheelie as good as I could before, but I can still ride this bike. I just smoked the blunt before I rode the bike. Why would I not be able to ride a bike? And that's what I want people to get. I'm realizing the reasons behind why I do what I do. And, you know, the only lines in the sand that I establish when it comes to testing functionality is safety. In my spare time, I do enjoy going to the range, but I would never, ever, ever, ever do shrooms and handle a firearm. Safety first. That's just not a good idea. I have shot archery on psychedelic mushrooms, and I'm not even gonna hold you. I was focused as hell, but I was hallucinating while I was staring at this target. And although I was still hitting it, and I was very close to the center circle, like that bullseye, I was like maybe 2 lines out from that, but I was hitting it back to back to back. And so, you know, although I was confident, it's like, no, I would never shoot a gun on shrooms. I would not drive on shrooms. I know other people do it, that's comfortable for them, but that's just not something that's comfortable for me. And I think that while I am testing functionality, I am understanding that there are things that I am going to establish boundaries on just for my own personal comfort, 1, and safety, 2. Number 5, I don't do shrooms when my headspace isn't on point. I already don't drink, but it really makes me think deeply about how mentally strong I am. In college, there was a time when I would drink when I was going through shit, and I would just lash out, like when I was drunk, and I just didn't like that because my friends be like, you too drunk, and it's like, no, it's not a matter of me being too drunk. It's a matter of my pre-existing state of mind before I started drinking. I could drink a whole lot and be drunk as hell and still be cool if I didn't have shit going on. But if I had shit going on and I started drinking and I get to the point where I'm tipsy, me being tipsy or me being drunk never really mattered. It was the fact of what was already swimming around in my head before I started doing this, because you either drinking and it's uppers or you drinking and it's downers. Like you trying to suppress feelings and you adding a substance and you already not mentally solid. That's a bad idea. When it comes to doing shrooms, it just makes me realize a few things. 1, it makes me realize how mentally strong I am when I'm sober and I'm going through things. And it makes me realize how important it is to remain sober when I'm working on me, because sobriety is necessary and it's crucial. You build mental strength that way, at least in my mind. That's what I feel like me doing shrooms has taught me, because a lot of my mindset when I do shrooms and, you know, I'm having an emotional purge, or, you know, I may have things that I'm slightly suppressing, or, you know, that I probably shouldn't did, the times that I shouldn't have did shrooms, my mind was really just more so a lot of how did I get here and what's hard about getting out. I think when it comes to me figuring out situations and having to get out the jam, that's the majority of it. So I'm saying all this to say that 1, your headspace is important. 2, having the mental endurance and stability before you do shrooms is crucial as hell, and that you should not do them when your headspace not on point. Sobriety is important. It teaches you to comb through your emotions, and doing shrooms helps you dig through that even further. I feel like when you mentally strong and you have a background of solid coping mechanisms and just healthy thought processes for solutions, that's the best spot that you could ever be in. And I feel like no matter what substance you do, nothing will teach you that other than restrictable thinking and sobriety. Those are the two things that just stick out to me the most. Number 6, based on my experience and the fact that I share so much of the things I experience, I realize that other people want to experience it as well, but I can't guarantee that your experience will be like mine, because a lot of people aren't simply honest or ready to do the work. People don't realize how much their mindset plays a huge role in how they will have an experience. The only person you lie to is yourself when you have to face yourself and you say you had a bad trip instead of telling the truth like you should have. People hear my stories, they hear my experience, and they be like, damn, I want to have that same experience. I can't guarantee you that. That's like if I recommend a restaurant to you and I be like, yeah, I went and had they greens. Them greens was good as fuck, right? And you go get them same greens from that same restaurant, and you get your greens and you like, I feel like these greens salty as hell. They put too much of something up in here, and it got a twang to it, and it's making the salt in the greens a lot more prominent to my taste buds. That's because what you think is salty and what I think is salty are two different things. Your taste buds and my taste buds are not calibrated the same. Trips are the same way. I can't guarantee you that your state of mind is going to be where my state of mind is when I was having that trip, when I was having such a grand time, when I was hallucinating and seeing all this glittery, artistic, iridescent shit. I can't guarantee you that you're going to have that same experience. However, what I can do is I can make recommendations for your set. I can make recommendations for your setting. I could give you a list of characteristics and be like, you find 3 friends that fit these main 4 characteristics as they apply to your life and trip with them, right? I could give you all of those pointers. But a lot of the times when people don't be honest, that's when, in my mind, they get in those sticky situations. If you are tripping and you overstimulated, and I notice that you're acting a little different, and I'm like, you good? Talk to me. What's going on? And you're like, no, I'm okay. I'm all right. Ain't nothing wrong. Like, you're not lying to me. You're lying to yourself. Because as somebody who's experienced, I notice shit. Like, when you do shrooms, you be in tune with a lot. And I don't think people realize that. Like, depending on what type of person you are, you tap into a lot more shit that's already there, but just not, it ain't been brought out of you yet. I don't think people realize that. Like, if a person who done did shrooms before, they reading you and your energy seem off, your vibe off, you seem antsy, like the signs be there. And y'all lie, that takes away from your experience because you're not being honest. Now, if you don't want to talk about how you feeling, just say that. Like, yeah, I think I am a little overstimulated, but I am processing some stuff. But I think I just need a little bit of space. If you want to sit outside with me, let's get some air. I would appreciate the company, but I need silent company type of shit. Y'all got to be honest. Like, some people don't be ready to unpack they shit type of honest, but to communicate so that other person who's checking on you can understand and help you through your experience, I feel like that's important. So when it comes to having an experience, I just really want y'all to be honest. I want y'all to lighten up. I know that for men, prime example, with Mike, when, he did his first trip with me, he was like, as a man, I just feel like I always got to be on point because there's other people around me, and my natural instinct to protect is just always there. Like, I don't know how to turn that off. And I feel like if I was in a space where I just was more comfortable, where I would be cool with turning that off because it's somebody else there who I fuck with their ability to protect, and me and him on the same page where I could just relax a little bit, then maybe I could enjoy it a little bit more. Then, I get that too. Which is why I always be saying your setting is important. But when it comes to having an experience, I just want people to realize that the level of honesty that you are with yourself is the level to which you will be able to experience the better side and the more enjoyable side of doing shrooms, especially if, you know, it's your first time or your second time or whatever, because remember, no two trips are alike. Number 7, on this shroom journey, I have learned that it's just been good for me. I want to find a way for others to experience it too, in a way that works for me. I feel very confident in talking people through their negative experiences if they have them. But I need to figure out a way to manage emotional dumping and financial compensation for emotional labor, because emotional labor is a literal job. There are 2 parts to this. I have had people call me before while they was tripping and their mind was on the loop, and they just was very transparent with me, like, look, you gotta talk to me because I'm not really having the best experience and I've been suppressing a lot and it's coming up. I can't sweep this under the rug. I can't run from my thoughts anymore. Like, I am at the point where I just need to say shit to get it out. So I'm like, okay, cool. You in a safe space? Go for it. Say whatever you need to say. I'm listening. You let me know when you're done. If you want feedback, I will give you feedback. If you want advice, I will give you advice. If you just want words of encouragement, I would like to know that as well. One person who called me, I really fuck with the level of transparency that they was. They were older. They have multiple children. And that conversation was really just a lot of guilt that they felt for not only the direction that their kids' lives went in, because they wasn't necessarily proud of it, but they had a lot of regrets. And so them being honest was a way for me to listen, but to also clarify some of their guilt not necessarily being their fault. You know, as kids, you grow up, you become your own person. No matter who your parents raised you to be, you're gonna get older and you're gonna say, some of that shit my mama was on, some of that shit my daddy was on was some bullshit. I don't agree with it, I don't fuck with it, and yeah, they raised me like this, but that shit was some garbage, it was ass, and I don't fuck with it, and I'm not finna maintain that in my adult life, because I just simply don't have to. I'm into this. I fuck with this now. As a parent, you shouldn't feel responsible, because your kids are gonna grow up, they're gonna learn on their own. Whether they listen to you or not, life gonna teach them the lessons that they need to learn. That means that some of those lessons are gonna be jail, some of those lessons are gonna be tickets, some of those lessons are gonna be fines, some of those lessons are gonna be having to do shit on your own. It's gonna be a harder road because you didn't listen the first time. It's gonna be having to redo shit because you didn't do it the way it should have been done. If it means that you're gonna have to come out of pocket for repairs, if it means that you're gonna waste time, waste energy, waste money, you're gonna be doing shit the hard way because you don't want to listen, anything, you know. And I think that I really want to find a way to just be that for a lot of different people without there necessarily being a whole lot of rapport. Like, kind of the way that you find a therapist and you grow to know them, but those therapy sessions are only really going to progress based on your level of comfort and how much you are willing to do the work, if that makes sense. So I really want to get to a space where I am, you know, comfortable with having so many energies and it being beneficial for not only the person, because yes, they get to have this greater experience through psychedelics, but there's also work being done that's progressive for them. And for me, I get the satisfaction of knowing that I'm helping somebody along on their journey. Is beneficial to not only me as a person, bringing people along on this journey with me, but also it's financially beneficial. So a literal situation where everybody wins. A person that I kind of mirror this after is Gabar. I don't know if y'all know who he is, but he is a therapist and he goes to ayahuasca retreats and he is there for people to come through their emotional traumas. He specializes in childhood trauma, substance abuse, and like, you know how therapists all got their like qualifications. He got a decent amount of qualifications. And he also, you know, he also trips in his spare time. Like, he is no stranger to psychedelics. And the way that he just helps people comb through their shit and the type of resource that he is, I would love that for myself to a degree. agree. I feel like it would be a lot to take on, but also too, I feel like the stressors of that, I could finesse that in a way that just works for me. Even if it was like guided group trips, I don't know, something. I need to develop it a little bit more, but I really do look up to Gabar. I love his work. I love the way that he is just compassionate as a person. Like, he just gets a lot of things just because he has had exposure to a lot of life, good, bad, and indifferent. Number 8, I am really liking the fact that I communicate better with people about controversy and how shocked they are when I tell them my story. I know I explained this on my Instagram. There's a highlight, it's called SHROOMBAE. It really just talks about my story with my car accident, psychedelics, healing, having tough conversations on them, and being a mediator. This is not to say that I wasn't a good communicator at first. I think I was a pretty decent, communicator, because growing up, after a while, I got tired of trying to talk to people because I felt like they weren't even listening to me in the first place. So I just became very physically aggressive. I used to fight a lot. I used to turn the fuck up on people because it's like, you're not listening to me and I'm really trying to be nice about the shit. But maybe if I blow your shit the fuck in, then you'll get it. In high school, I used to fight a lot. Who I was in school and who I was outside of school, two completely different people. But long story short, as I got older, I started to be a different communicator. And I also learned that not communicating with people or choosing to be silent hit just as hard as me blowing your shit in sometimes. It probably hit even harder. When it comes to my car accident, the restorative nature of psychedelic mushrooms mentally, I feel like that is what did me the biggest justice. My car accident was April 29th. My birthday was May 17th. I suffer from long-term memory loss. There are things and people that I don't fucking remember, and if I forget, oh well. I got more space up there. Some shit is better off forgetting it anyway. But at the initial moments of me healing from my car accident, it was very hard for me to express myself, which is a part of the reason why I started doing story times on TikTok in general, because if I ever forget memories again, I want to just be able to go back and watch my own story times and learn about my life all over again. And so I'm like, yeah, we finna start these story times. It was therapeutic for me because once those story times started happening, I just felt way more confident because I was having a hard time getting my words out. I was having stress headaches because I couldn't express myself. I was having a hard time processing information. Reading was hard. Doing math was hard. I felt like I had to learn how to fucking read all over again, which again was very frustrating to me because I have a whole degree in English literature. A whole degree in English literature. And you mean to tell me that I'm having a hard time fucking reading? I never used text to talk so much in my life. But I was, again, having a hard time getting my words out. My face was fucked up. My eye was black as hell. My shit was swole the fuck up. In some of my older videos, I was putting emojis over my face. And it was a whole lot of editing. And I was talking real slow because I was trying to talk and get my words together at the same time. And it was a lot. But after I did shrooms on my birthday, and I was able to just be in a space with my best friend and another friend named Tyler. No matter how long it took, they were just patient as fuck with me. I didn't feel stressed in those moments of me trying to get my words out. Like, I was getting frustrated, yes, but they was like, we know you're frustrated. Just take your time. We're not rushing you. We just want to understand you, type of shit. I really fucked with that. And I think after that trip on my birthday, because mind you, me and my best friend, we tripped for like 3 days straight. We probably ate like a half an ounce, a whole ounce. I don't know how much we ate. We were just knocking the bitches back. After that weekend, I just felt so recharged. I felt like I had an old piece of me back. When I started watching documentaries where it was like, shrooms creates new pathways in the brain, I very much so felt that. A certain lightness that I just like looking back on, and now that I've like absorbed all of this information about psychedelics, it's like all the things that were talked about activity in the brain as it pertains to what actually happens when you're currently tripping. I can 100% say that I've experienced those things firsthand. And so now that I have let go of those barriers that I created for myself, I don't feel no fear. I don't feel no barrier. I don't feel like anything is unattainable to me. I feel like the way I communicate is just so much better, because at a time when communicating was hard, I figured out how to still do that while not having a stress headache. Like, I very much so fuck with that, and I love the way that my brain kind of was like rewired in a sense because of that. Like, I'm not glad I got in that car accident, because I still, to this current day, have a knot of scar tissue in my left leg that is tender. And I use a massage gun to kind of like, you know, massage it out and break that down. But I still have a nice sized pebble worth of scar tissue in my left leg. Oh, you know, I'm not grateful for the car accident, but if it wasn't for the car accident, some of these experiences I probably would have never had. I probably would have just been like, oh, I did shrooms a couple times. Yeah, it was cool. Fuck with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can go for some shrooms type shit, but the extent to which I'm explaining all of this shit to y'all probably wouldn't exist. I'm able to look at things differently. I'm able to just be better because of my exposure to this. Number 9, I am learning that I am just scratching the surface. I want to try other strands and other mushrooms and things that are geared towards my health. I know I talk about psychedelics a lot, but I really want to get into the health benefit aspect of this, just so that I could have a functional and valid opinion on the health benefits. Like, I want to see, you know, what lion's mane does for me. You know, I'm really interested in these health benefits because, you know, my back be hurting. Anybody who know me, y'all know for real. Can I get a massage? Come on, shrug my shoulders. Come on, hook me up real quick. Come on, hook me up. So I want to see like what health benefits there are, and you know, I know I've listed them before on like Instagram and stuff like that, but I just want to have my own personal experience with them. I want to cook with lion's mane. I want to, you know, it's other things that I just want to explore. So again, I'm realizing that I'm only scratching the surface. It's a lot more work to be done. I don't necessarily feel an obligation because, like I told y'all, I am on my own journey. I'm moving at my own pace. I am sharing my journey as I'm experiencing it, but I don't necessarily feel pressure to be like, oh, I owe an explanation. No, I don't owe anybody anything. I can pick and choose what I share. This is my story. This is my journey. And I'm choosing to bring people along with it. So the pressure that I experience is only the pressure that I put on myself. Good, bad, and indifferent. Yeah. And last but certainly not least for this part 1, number 10, is that the role of psychedelics and why I don't talk about others. So there are other psychedelics, as I have expressed to y'all before. You know, my enjoyment and my journey with shrooms is just been, it's the reason why I don't feel the need to do anything else. Like, I'm getting so much out of my journey with doing shrooms. Why do I need to do anything else? Like, don't get me wrong, there is one other thing that I want to try, and I will tell y'all that in part 2. But my experience with psychedelic mushrooms, it's just been so good. Like, I like things that are long term. I like things that have an old faithfulness to them. And psychedelic mushrooms have been just that for me. They have been very, very solid, a very good foundation for a lot of things. I want to go on a new adventure. Fuck it, I'm doing shrooms. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Never did shrooms on a Tuesday. Come on, let's do it. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. But then also too, it's just one of them things where it's like, I don't really feel the need to want more. Like, if I want to take it up a notch, all I need is an orange. There's so much simplicity. Like, learning when you are at the point where it's like, no, this is enough. If I feel the need to increase, I will. It's kind of like being in the gym. I could be comfortable at running a mile in 15 minutes. But let's say, okay, I want to get my mile to 12 minutes. Let me push myself just a little bit. Like, I know that running is a constant. I know that it's a solid. I know that it's something that I'm good at. But it's like, I feel that there are so many different ways to experiment with shrooms that I just haven't explored yet. It's like, I don't want to move on to open a can of worms of anything everything else because I'm enjoying where I'm at. Learning my body, I'm learning how to scale it, I'm learning how to manipulate it, I'm learning how to take it up a notch subtly, I know how to take it up a notch intensely, I know how to operate off of it, I know how to gauge the high. I'm just really enjoying all the different things that I'm learning just about psychedelic mushrooms alone. There is safety in knowing the ins and outs. I feel like all the complexities, it's like learning your body when you're in the gym. Like, okay, I know I could do this, but can I do a pull-up? What if I put my hands like this? Like, how? I know I could do this, but then what about this? Like, I know I could do a regular push-up, but what if I could do diamond push-ups too, and I just never tried it? Let's try it. Okay, that wasn't that bad. I feel a little sting in a new place that I never felt before, but this ain't that bad. I feel like I'm in the stage of my wheels spinning, and they spinning. Like, even if my wheels slow down, I feel like if I just saw one thing, it would make my wheels spin all over again in a new direction. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like this spinning is infinite. I feel like the possibilities for psychedelic mushrooms are infinite. Other things are cool, don't get me wrong, but they're not as fun. They are not half as much of an adventure as psychedelic mushrooms are. And to be honest with you, there is security in knowing that I am just having a field day with the safest drug that there is to do. That's a comfort for me. So yeah, baby, I'm sticking to what I know. I love psychedelic mushrooms, and you can't get me off of it. This has been part one of all the things that I've learned so far on my mushroom journey. I really want to say thank y'all so much to everybody who's been on this journey with me, because it's new. And as psychedelic mushrooms become more popular, I hope that this positive community and exchange that I am building around psychedelic mushrooms is one that just continues to grow. I am looking forward to growing my knowledge, meeting other people who are making their waves in the psychedelic community as it pertains to mushrooms as well. I'm excited to welcome people on the start of their journey when it comes to mushrooms as well. It's been good for me. I want it to be good for y'all too. Like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, comment, like, and subscribe, and I will catch y'all on the flip side with part 2. Peace.